Hello, Sarah Michelle here with Happiness in Heels. I am a sex, love, and intimacy coach for female entrepreneurs. And today I want to talk about how when we step into our feminine energy, we practice trust and surrender. This is such a foreign concept for most of us because we've grown up being in our masculine, and we're in our masculine because that's where we believe we can protect ourselves, where we can make sure that we are safe and make sure that we are in control of everything. And I remember it was about a year ago, I was struggling with really understanding, like, how can I surrender? Like, I didn't feel like, I knew that if you were in a super healthy relationship with a partner that was really healthy in their masculine, that you would naturally feel safe enough to surrender. But I wasn't in that space yet. I was recently divorced, and I had been in my masculine a lot in my marriage. And I knew I wanted to figure out what it felt like, but I couldn't figure it out. And so I asked my coach, I said, what can I do? How can I figure out what it's like, what it feels like to experience surrender? And she said, go skydiving. And I was like, what? You've got to be kidding me. And she's like, well, go skydiving because you'll have no choice. I mean, they jump out of the plane with you and then like, you're just at the mercy of the powers that be, you know? And I was like, okay, I'll do it. So I happened to have a friend who used to skydive before she had children. And so I reached out to her and she said, yeah, I know a place we can go that'll be good. You'll like it. We can do it. She took me. I was about, I think it took us 3 to 4 weeks or so to make the appointment and drive up and do it. It was in the Chicago area. And so we went, and thank goodness she was there, by the way, because they kept trying to upsell me to a higher and higher jump. And they're more expensive, obviously. And she's like, no, you don't need it. On your first time, you're not going to remember anything at all anyway, because you're going to be so panicked. She said, and it's so cold out. We went late in the year. Luckily, I got in the last weekend they were open. She said, it's so cold out that you're going to freeze your butt off. She's like, so don't even worry about it. Just have the experience. And if you love it, you can go again. I was like, okay. And damn, was she ever right. So I get there and the people, like, they're getting me ready and stuff. And they're like, I can't believe you're so calm. And I don't, maybe on the exterior, I seemed calm to them. But here's what happened. I walked in knowing I'm here to practice surrender. So as soon as I would start to panic about anything or start to think things through too much, I was immediately going into my mind. Well, maybe not my mind, it's not the right way to say it. I was immediately having prayerful thoughts, right? Like I was reaching out to God and my angels and stuff and saying, okay, so what's gonna happen here and how can I feel better? And let me tell you this, I had the impression that if I went skydiving, you had to do this informational video at the very beginning. I feel like a hair. Here we go. That you have this informational thing at the very beginning and they would tell you it, like walk you through it from beginning to end. This is exactly what it's going to look like, Sarah. And I would be like, okay, I got the big picture. Let's do this. No, like the thing at the beginning was like, hello. So we basically want to tell you that if you die, it's not our fault. Sign this waiver. And I don't know if it was like 15 minutes long or what that they spent telling us that, but that's what that was. And then they just had you buy your stuff, whatever. They walked you out to a hangar where they just said, okay, well, they stood next to you. Okay, you look like you're this size, put this one on and whatever. And I'm like, I don't even know how to put it on. I remember telling them, like, I don't know how to put this on. I've never done this before. And they said, walk over to so-and-so and he'll help you put it on. Or I think it was a woman. I think they matched you up, women with women and men with men. So I was like, okay, like, and I just had to keep going every step of the way, just with enough information to accomplish that step. How's that for trust and surrender? I'm going out here with people who are openly talking about how they smoke pot and different things. Like, wow, you know, like, holy shit. Like, I hope they're not high right now. So we go out and we wait for the plane. I don't know what plane's coming, when it's coming, nothing. We get in the plane. I still don't know what I'm supposed to do when I jump. All I know is I'm paired with this lady. I'm flying up in this fucking airplane that has duct tape all over the inside of it. And I'm like, oh my God. So the fact that they all thought that I was so calm is just insane. Maybe I was shut down emotionally and I was just like, I don't know. But inside I was going crazy and I was staying as prayerful as possible to work through what is coming up, right? Because the whole goal of going skydiving was for me to experience trust and surrender. So as we're up there, I can barely hear a damn thing because we're in this rickety plane and it's so loud. And the lady's like trying to tell me from behind me, okay, when we jump, like I want you to be like this and keep your head back here and like these different things. And I'm like, I am never going to remember this because I'm going to be so panicked. And I mean, I don't know, shit happened. We jumped out of a plane. I freaked out. But what I will say is like you free fall first. And then after they let the chute out, the parachute, everything just gets quiet. It just gets peaceful and you're literally just floating. It is the most, it's so gentle, so gentle. And I was in the Chicago area or whatever, like outside of it. So tons and tons of cornfields and soybean fields and stuff like that. And that's what I'm watching. I even saw like this train go by, which was so cool. It was so peaceful. And it felt like forever too, by the way. You like think that it's gonna go so fast because you're thinking about the dropping period, but the floating period takes a while and I was freezing my ass off. And then, mind you, at this point, I've jumped out of the plane. I have no choice whatsoever but to land on the ground. And she still hasn't taught me how we're gonna land. And so I finally asked her and she's like, oh, just enjoy this for a minute. And then I'll tell you when we get close to the ground, I'll let you know and we'll do it. I'm like, so I did my best to enjoy everything. And then when we got close to the ground, she's like, okay, you're going to lift your legs. I'm like, my legs don't do that. And she's like, okay, well, if they don't, we're going to tumble. And sure as hell, we tumbled and I got a huge ass bruise because I was like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, we're already coming down. I can't do that move. And if you don't got something else for me, I mean, we're going to tumble. So we did tumble and then I finished. But it was such a beautiful lesson in what it's like to completely surrender. And when you can find moments like that in your life, especially if you aren't there yet with a partner where you can completely and totally surrender, that's okay and that's normal. But like if you're running a business, there's going to be parts that you need to completely surrender and turn over to the universe, turn over to your angels, your guides, however you want to say it, right? There are parts, if you're calling in a relationship, there's parts of this that you have to completely turn over and surrender. Like, for example, divine timing, right? Like, we can work on calling in a partner for you, and I do that with women, and it's wonderful, but neither of us can say if we work together, okay, he'll be here within 3 months, or he'll be here within 3 years. All we know is that we're going to look at what you desire and where you're at right now, and what can we do to close this gap? You know, what needs to be cleaned up? What needs to be shifted? And then depending on how that works with the universe, because you have to remember at the same time, the universe is over here working on him, getting him ready to be with you. So it's not just you, it's like this dance that the universe has to do to pull these things together. And it's applicable to anything. So even if you're talking about, you know, your business or something else like that, or working with your children and with masculine and feminine energy, there's always parts where when you're in your feminine, you want to practice trust and surrender. And it's gonna feel so good when you can do that.